As they were walking along, Rama again asked Vishwamitra, "There is a beautiful mountain there, and nestling at its foot is a grove which is pleasing to the eye. This green grove of trees captures my mind. Tell us what the place is. We just came out of the forest, which was fearful and uninhabited, and this is all the more exciting since it seems to be a happy place. How far away from here is the ashram of your gracious self? I have become very impatient since I am eager to see those sinners who are causing so much discomfort to you. When will I see those wicked Rakshasas who kill hermits without compunction? When will I be able to kill them?" Vishwamitra was only too eager to answer the questions of Rama. He said, "This grove has a long history behind it. I will relate it to you. Ages back, the great Lord Narayana, the all-pervading, who is the cause of the creation, the preservation, and the destruction of this entire universe, performed tapas here. And again, this is the place where Vamana had its dwelling place, and hence it is called Sidhashrama. Bali, the son of Virochana, was the emperor. He had defeated all the rival Danavas and also the Maruts and Indra too. He was famed all the world over for his prowess and for his generous nature. He once performed a yajna. The yajna was to confirm his position as the lord of the three worlds. It was in this ashram that the Devas led by Agni approached Narayana and said, "Lord, Bali, the son of Virochana, is performing a yajna. You must somehow stop it for the good of those who dwell in the celestial regions. Bali is well known for his generosity. He has never said no to anyone who has asked him for anything. You must make use of this characteristic in him and help us to regain the world which we have lost to him." In the meantime, Kashyapa, the great Prajapati, who was like the god of fire, so radiant was he because of his tapas, desired a son. His wife Aditi was like his other self in glory, and this great man once performed tapas with the image of Narayana deeply engraved in his mind. To him came the Lord in person and asked him what he desired. Kashyapa, the son of Marichi, said, "Please do not think it audacious on my part when I ask you to be born as my son. You must be born as the son of Aditi, and you must wipe her tears which are flowing because of the unhappiness of her children, the Devas. Our purpose should thus be served, and this ashrama where you will be born will be famed the world over as the Siddhashrama, since we would have attained our desires." "So be it," said Narayana with a smile. Aditi became the mother of the Lord in human form. He was so small and so much like a miniature of a man that he was called Vamana along with his other name Upendra. When the yajna of Bali was in progress, Vamana went to the yajnasala. Bali stood up and greeted this young Brahmin who was like a heap of gold. He said, "What will you have, my young Brahmin? You look so beautiful and so radiant. I have a feeling you do not belong to this earth but to the heavens. No human being can look so glorious. Ask anything of me and I will give it to you. I am eager to please you." Vamana was gratified by the generous nature of the king and said, "O king, it is but proper for the son of Virochana to talk thus. The world talks of nothing but the great yajna you are performing, and so I came to you hoping that you will give me something. I want very little, but I will ask only if you assure me that I will be granted my wish." The king smiled at the young child, for so he thought, and said, "It is my great good fortune that you should come to me asking me to give you something. My tapas has been sanctified only now. My very life seems purposeful only now, and I feel that I have been born for this only task, granting you what you ask for. My kingship and all the many good acts which I may have performed seem to bear fruit at this moment when you have come to me. My treasury, my granary, my army, my entire kingdom, all these are at your disposal. Ask of me anything you please, and it is yours. A beautiful smile lit up the face of the young Brahmin, and he said, Of what use is all this to me, O king? I am but a poor dweller in an ashram, and my needs are few. All I want is a bit of land, a piece from your kingdom, which can be covered by 3 paces of mine. The king was amused at the request of Vamana. He smiled tolerantly at Vamana and said, But certainly I will grant you 3 paces of land as you wish. Shukracharya, the Bhargava, was a preceptor of Bali, and he stopped the king from taking water in his hand preparatory to gift and said, Bali, this is no ordinary Brahmin. He is that truth which cannot be known even by Brahma or the Devas or by yogis who spend years and years in tapas. He is Narayana. You should not grant him his wish. If you do, you will be destroyed. Narayana, as is well known, is ever partial to the Devas, and their good will be the consequence of your gift. Bali would not listen to him. If the Lord of Lords has assumed this form to bless me with a request, my yajna has been fulfilled to a glorious degree. What greater good fortune can befall one like me? Said the king, and with his wife pouring the water into his hands, he gave away 3 paces of land to the youngster who was standing with his little right hand held out to receive the gift. When the water touched his hand and when the gift had been granted, Vamana grew. Narayana assumed his Vishwarupa. With one blessed foot, he covered the entire earth, and with the other, the heavens. Bali worshipped him with great gladness in his heart, and he spoke to himself, Narayana himself came to me with a request, and I was able to grant it. Can anyone be more fortunate than me? He stood with folded palms, with tears streaming from his eyes. Narayana thus regained for Indra his kingdom and restored to him his throne. That grove, which seems to thrill you so much, was where Vamana was born. Since it is a Sidhashrama where everyone will get what he wants, I have chosen it as my ashram for performing this yaga for the good of mankind. The dreadful Rakshasas come only to this ashram, and it is here, my child, that they must be killed. Children, we are nearing the Siddhashrama. The spot is mine, which means that it is yours too. As they were talking and walking, they reached the ashram. With the 2 young princes on either side of him, Vishwamitra entered the ashram, and he looked like the moon with the star Punarvasu on a cloudless, clear sky. The rishis worshipped him and welcomed the princes. After they had rested for a while, since this last lap of the journey was long, the brothers went to the presence of Vishwamitra and stood before him. They said, My lord, you can resume your diksha. Your yaga will proceed uninterrupted. We can assure you of that. As you have said so aptly, the ashram cannot lose its name, and we cannot let it go waste. Vishwamitra assumed diksha that night, and the princes slept throughout the night without any worry. When the night had passed, they rose up early, and purifying themselves, they went to the presence of Vishwamitra, who was seated on holy dharba grass after performing Agnihotra, the worship of fire. Now we come to the end of story 12. See you in the next upcoming stories.